Okay, this is a remediation video for law of sines. What I'm hoping first of all you've done is downloaded and printed out the worksheet, which has 4 problems on it. And in this video here, I plan to walk you through the first 2 questions. I'm going to give you a video explanation of the first one, then you're going to try the second one on your own, followed by a video explanation. So first of all, law of sines. Some things you need to look for and know about law of sines are, first of all, law of sines can work with any triangle. When you want to recognize law of sines, you can only use them when you have 2 things. You have to know an opposite side and an opposite angle that are given to you. Okay? In number 1 of this problem, you look at this in a little bit more detail, I notice that I have an angle, but I don't have any more information other than I have the 22 degrees. There is also a 118 degrees up here at the top. And then I don't know, in this, from what I have by definition for law of sines, I don't have an angle and a side opposite each other. But one thing you hopefully will remember, though, is that in a triangle that there are 180 degrees. Okay? So in this problem here, then, if I add up these 2 sides here, the third side has to add up to 180 degrees, so that means these add up to give you 140. So I have to have 40 degrees that goes in this angle here as well. Next, when you're looking at this, then, you want to make a proportion. A proportion is going to consist of 2 ratios that are equal to each other, and you're going to take the pair of pieces of information that you do know, which is the angle 40 degrees and the side 24 that are opposite each other, and you're going to make a ratio. That ratio is going to go in the form of sine of 40 over 24, and then you're going to set it up equal to another pair of pieces of information that are also going to form a ratio, which are this angle 22 and the x that you're trying to solve for. So then you're going to say sine of the angle over the side, so this side over here has to go sine of the angle. In this case, it's going to be sine of 22 over x. Okay? The next thing you need to do is understand that when you have a proportion, you're going to be cross-multiplying and taking the 2 products and setting them equal to each other. So in this case here, if I take those 2 together, I'll have sine of 22 times 24 equal to the sine of 40 degrees times x. Okay? So I'm going to be doing cross-multiplying, setting the both products equal to each other, and then to get x by itself, we have to do the division of the sine of 40. So what I'll do here is I'll divide by the sine of 40, and divide here by the sine of 40, and then x will be alone by itself. Now to solve for this, I'll move this up here so you can see a little bit more of the problem then. What I need to finish doing this then is I have the sine of 22, like I have here, times 24. I'm going to evaluate that first on my calculator, and then I'm going to divide by the sine of 40. Okay? And in the end, since those crossed out, I have x by itself. And then, when you start these problems on your calculator, make sure that you have your calculator in the right mode. So press the mode key first. Make sure that your calculator has the degree box highlighted. If it is not, move your cursor down twice and hit enter, and move it over and then press enter. It should then stay highlighted as you see on the screen here as well. So then, to get it to work out on the calculator to evaluate this, I type in sine of 22, sine 22, make sure you close off the parenthesis that you see right here, times 24, press enter, or you can just do it all at once, hit enter, and then say divided by sine of 40, and then voila, you are done. That length of this side that you see missing here is going to be 13.99 units about. So we want to make sure we say x is about, because it's, oops, we want to say that x is about 13.99 units long. Okay? Hopefully you were successful in seeing how this is worked out. What I'd like to do now is try to do number 2, and then pause this video, and then I'll come through and walk you through this one as well. So on your own right now, pause the video, see if you can figure out number 2 on your worksheet, and then I'll walk you through it if you don't get the answer. Good luck, and hopefully you're successful here. Okay, now we're back. Again, this one's even easier because now you don't have to do any figuring out of angles that add up to 180. I have the angles here, that the angle and the side opposite that on the triangle here. You know that the side AC, or this side right here, the angle or the vertices here are A, B, and C, and you know that AC is 7. So our goal here then is to figure out the length of AB, which is x that I have on the screen here. So what you have to do then is you have to make your ratios. Again, it's sine of 44 degrees over 7 equals the sine of 53, this other pair of information that we're looking at, sine of 53 over x. Again, in a proportion, you're going to always multiply the two that you do know, which are these two right here, and divide by whatever's diagonally from the x. So if you want to go right to the answer and avoid having to write all the work out, simply divide or multiply these together first, and you always divide by what's across from the letter you're trying to solve for. So again, if I want to write this out in the solution form, it'll be x equals 7 times the sine of 53 divided by the sine of 44. Whoops. And as you type that in, just get your calculator out real quick here, type it in. You're going to go 7 times the sine of 53, and then you can hit enter, divided by sine of 44. And in this problem here, hopefully you were successful and got about 8.05 as your answer. So x is about 8.05 units in the picture. So hopefully then, when you can get this question in the future, recognize it first of all by seeing an angle and a side that are directly across from each other, and in the future you should hopefully then make a proportion and then solve them by cross multiplication. Good luck, and hopefully you're successful in the future.